Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Millersport Lakers Field. On behalf of the Walnut Township Local School Board of Education, Superintendent Kim Radulovic, Millersport Junior and Senior High School Principal Megan Terry, and Assistant Principal Athletic Director Marcus Brayler, we would like to welcome you to today's contest featuring Berne Union High School and your Millersport Lakers. In order to make today's contest as enjoyable as possible, please represent your school and community in a positive and respectful manner. That means follow the rules, speak and act responsibly, and show courtesy and respect for your fellow fans, the officials, coaches, the administrators, and authority figures, and of course, your team and the opponents. Let's make today's contest great by remembering to respect the game. Tonight's officials: referee James Wind, umpire Mike Vanoy, line judge Jason Blair, head linesman David Campbell, back judge Michael Newman, center judge Andy Kilbarger. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in the greatest country in the world with freedoms like no other. To honor America and respect for all who have served our country to defend the freedoms we enjoy, we ask you remove your hats and everyone please stand for the playing of our national anthem.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Buckeye Toyota, Bay Food Market, Fairfield County Adam H., the Savings Bank, Sheridan Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Fairfield DD, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Dagger Law, The Carriage Company, Personal Touch Party Rentals, North Body Shop, Fairfield Medical Center, and Buckeye Lake Marina.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Interface Video Productions High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Jared Stewart, alongside a new partner tonight, not Tim Shoemaker, filling in for Tim Shoemaker and also filling in for our sideline reporter, Marion Royster. You've got double shoes to fill tonight. It's the guru of all things high school sports, Tom Moore. Tom, great to have you along with us tonight.
Hey, thanks, Jared. I mean, I do have big shoes to fill. Tim Shoemaker, he could fill the Library of Alexandria with his knowledge. By comparison, I can only fill a paragraph, but it should be a good night here by the lake, my friend.
Yep. Tonight's pregame is brought to you by Personal Touch Party Rentals. Carol and Eric Whittington would like to invite you to stop by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events in Lancaster. They're a small family-owned business and have been servicing the Central Ohio area since 2003. They would love to help plan your next event, weddings, special events, even corporate events, all with a personal touch. They can be reached at 740-689-6991. Let's jump right into it. Talk about these two teams. Let's talk about the visiting team, the Berne Union Rockets, coming off of their first win of the season. Really an uncharacteristic slow start after the last several years quality football and playoff records that they've had.
Yeah. You know, Coach Tony Herbst is no stranger to the waxes and wanes of small school programs, especially here in the Cardinal. You know, it's not just replacing Nate Nemeth, who is really balling out also in the college level as a freshman, but you talk about you have some youth in some places. You have a first-year QB in Jared Thompson. You have youth in your skill positions. It's a team that's really anchored by their interior line, offense and defense, and it's an opportunity to get that second win on the board for the Rockets.
And really, that win last week against Miller, you know, people think, Miller is a really good football. They're an up-and-coming football program. Actually, all their male athletics are up-and-coming right now. That's a big win because that wasn't an easy task. Berne Union had to overcome a deficit. They actually came back to win that one 20-16.
Yeah, I mean, they were down at the half against the Falcons. And you think about, you know, just look at the league standings. It could possibly finish out that Miller will finish second place. They play Grove City Christian tonight out in Grove City.
So that was a big win for Berne Union. Let's talk about the host team, the Millersport Lakers. Homecoming here tonight. Lots of excitement in the air. I believe the last time that we were here was in 2016. It was homecoming then as well. This is a team that everybody knows, a very young team, but Coach Jack Tranish, you got to tip your hat to him. In his third season as the head coach, but he's got many years under his belt as a coach. He was an assistant here from 1990 to 2006. Then he was an assistant at Watkins Memorial from 2007 to 2019. He takes over this program, and he knows what he's got. He's got young players trying to build something, and I really think, you know, they're off to obviously record out the window, but off to a good start in what he's trying to build.
Yeah, I mean, put the record aside because I don't know if anyone could single-handedly change the situation at hand, but you look at Jack when he was hired 3 years ago, he built the car from scratch, and that is an alum. He understands football. He's been coaching football for 30 years. He understands what football means to this community, and you have to also give your credit to the players. This is a very young team. There's only one senior on the Lakers football team.
Well, and here's the thing, too. It's going to get even younger tonight. They've got some players out tonight, so a roster of 17 is down to around 14 tonight, and that's really tough to field a varsity football team in those conditions.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you're pushing a boulder uphill. It's kind of a Herculean task, so you have to tip your hat to those young kids. The kids understand what is conferred onto them. They're representing their community. They get to play in front of a town that has long craved football. And really, resilience is the key here. So it doesn't matter really what the score is. What matters is you're out there competing despite the circumstances.
The last time these two teams met was 2017, and Tom, you tell me that actually in the last 4 games, the record's 2-2, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Millersport won in 2014 and 2015. I remember that 2014 season very well. The Lakers went 7-3. They snapped the 48-game skid under Terry Holbert, who's now the coach at Logan Elm.
And having great success there as well.
Yeah, they're 5-0.
Yeah. Just about set to kick it off here from Millersport. An absolute gorgeous night for high school football near the lake here in Millersport, Ohio. Let's go to the keys of the game tonight, brought to you by North Body Shop, providing quality customer service, parts, and reliability since 1979. Owner Mark North will provide you with a free written warranty on each estimate. That's Mark North of North Body Shop. He'll treat you right. Going to put you on the spot tonight, Tom. What do you think the keys are for both these teams tonight?
Well, I mean, for the visiting Rockets, you know, one thing that they want to set a different tone on is they want to start fast and start effective. They don't want to get bogged down by penalties. They don't want to be turning the ball over. They don't want to be going 3 and out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you want to play a clean game start to finish. You also don't want to get too endued under the pressure of, okay, we're playing a team that we've never played before when you think about it. And for the Lakers, a lot of it is just sticking with it. You want to be able to establish the passing game. And really what it takes to have that passing game established is picking up the blitzes for a young offensive line. Berne loves to blitz out of that 3-5.
Glad to have you along for high school football tonight. Here brought to you by all of our fine sponsors, and of course our Interface Video Productions crew. We'll tell you about those guys. They're the best in the business. Tell you about them coming up. Our kickoff tonight is brought to you by Sheridan Funeral Home. Sheridan Funeral Home is proud to be supporting high school football. They have been servicing the communities of Lancaster and Fairfield County for over 100 years. It will be the Lakers wearing all purple tonight to kick it off to Berne Union. Back deep for the Rockets is number 15. That is Gavin Barnhart over on the far side.
Walton, I
Mason
believe.
Walton.
Week 3 versus Crooksville, Mason Walton took the opening kick 55 yards and got the Rockets in prime field position. He is a fast kid.
To do the kicking for the Lakers will be Nicholas Yingling, sophomore. Just counting the numbers down there, Tom, and it does look like Millersport will start the game with 13 available players, 11 on the field and 2 subs. They've got several guys injured down there, sick, just some guys out, and to these guys that did suit up and ready to play tonight. It will be taken on the near side, fumbled by Mason Walton, picks it back up, looking for some blockers, taking a long route over to the far side of the field, and here he comes up the far side to the 50. He may be gone. Mason Walton all the way down, inside the 20, the 10, touchdown, Berne Union.
Yeah, that kind of started out a little finicky, and Mason Walton's trying to field the ball with the sun in his eyes. He collects it, recovers, and I like what Millersport tried to do on that. They're not trying to over-pursue and crash down. Unfortunately, Mason Walton is really fast, so he reverses field, gets behind the wedge, and it's just a matter of helmets on helmets.
See it here on this Dagger Law replay. Yeah, he muffed it, but then he takes it the long route. Obviously, it looked like it was designed that way. I mean, all of his blockers went to that left side.
Yep, I mean, he got behind the wedge, and I just want to talk about helmets on helmets. I mean, he uses that speed and versatility to his advantage.
Extra point is up, and it is good. Kicked through by number 2, Glennie Harris. So with 11:41 to play in the first quarter, Berne Union with a quick 7-0 lead here over Millersport on homecoming night. So Tom, as a coach, this part right here, you've just given up 7 points right off the bat on the opening kickoff. What are you telling your team right here?
Flush it. I mean, that sounds like coach speak, but immediately just, flush it, because you don't want to be bombed on, like, say, the first play from scrimmage. It happens. I mean, we don't have very many opportunities to practice kickoff so far this year. We're still a young team. I mean, that's football sometimes. So just flush it. Just understand. We're not trying to get away from the objective here. We want to play a clean game, passing. And part of it also is just speaking to the film work. We talked about this in film, so no pressure on you guys.
It's a really good point you make about practice. When you've got a roster of this small, and I know that some other schools in the area, Fisher Catholic, FCA, very small rosters, they can't go 11 on 11 in practice.
Nope.
They have to get creative. They have to go one half against the other half, and then switch it over to the other side. And so it really makes it difficult for these coaches. And give them credit, they've figured out ways to get it done.
Yep, and it's also hard to practice a kickoff team when you only have 13 kids too.
Right. Back deep for Millersport to receive the kick. Number 28, Xavier Grimm on the near side. And over on the far side, Brock Wright. Grimm is a junior. Wright is a sophomore. Harris's kick. Squibbed, but good job by the Lakers to fall on it. They're going to have good field position to start this one off. It hit immediately. It hit Gage Evans. And then falling on it, I believe, was 64 Jackson Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, to an extent, it's kind of tricky, but you also don't want to be intentionally kicking it out of bounds or worse.
Right.
We saw what happened on that opening kickoff. You don't want to run into a situation where you outkick your coverage.
Nicholas Yingling will line up at quarterback tonight, the sophomore, moving over from wide receiver tonight to play quarterback. Got some good size on him. Actually, the entire team, they've got some good size, especially across that front line.
Yeah. Well, I remember Nicholas Yingling's name. I believe he's going to be their number 2 pitcher come the springtime in baseball.
Go with that I formation with receivers out to each side. Yangling will hand it off to that second man through. That is Wright. And Wright pick up a couple on first down. Good hard run by Brock Wright.
Yeah, and good blocking out on that left side, just really pushing in, pinning in. I mean, I don't know how well Millersport is when it comes to, like, say, spraying it out and bombing it, but you can run the set up the pass. That works.
Yep. Second down and 7. Brayton Carter comes out to the near side. Over on the far side is Xavier Grimm. Again, that I formation with Brock Wright, the second man. Now it's going to be the fullback first man through. That's number 40, Justin Phillips. A gain of 1. Bring up a third down, and looks like 3rd and 5.
Whatever it is that Coach Trenish said to his Lakers after that opening kickoff seems to have worked, because they're not getting on phase. You know, they're just sticking to the bread and butter. They're not getting false starts. They're not getting blown off the ball.
Good look there into the huddle, and really like the stickers on the helmets, and you know that's something that gets these kids fired up, and they're able to earn the respect of their coach and put those stickers on the helmet. It makes them feel really good, and a lot of those guys sporting those tonight. Third down, out of the shotgun is Yingling. And pass is incomplete. It was intended over there for Xavier Grimm, just a little bit behind him. Bring up a 4th and 5.
You know, it's probably some just anxiety if it's his first time lining up at QB, you know, just trying to anticipate, okay, is there going to be a blitz? How much time do I have? What does the pocket look like? He'll grow into it.
So the Lakers will punt, and Yingling will do the punting, and back deep for Berne Union is, once again, Mason Walton. Returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, so look for Yingling if he's able to angle it away from Walton. And there's movement. That could that's going to be close to a first down. Real close.
Yeah.
They might need to get the index card out. We hear the official call.
Well, we talked about keys to the game, Jared. You know, for Berne, cut out penalties. You want to play a clean game. That's a mistake by the Rockets early on.
First down for the Lakers.
So the Lakers now in Berne Union territory at the 47-yard line. Got the gift on the offsides penalty. Got several other games going on around the area tonight. We'll tell you about those, and we'll be keeping tabs on some of those. We'll be talking also about playoffs, which will be coming up. Hard to believe that we are halfway through the season already. Yingling out of the shotgun. We'll hand it off to Wright. Wright trying to go right side. He's grabbed from behind, but still is able to get positive yards. Wright with a good hard run all the way up to the 45. Gain of 2 on the play.
And that's impressive play out of a sophomore tailback. I mean, because he's probably not the biggest kid out there, but he understands. Keep your feet churning, just keep low. Good hard run.
Somebody had his jersey really behind the line of scrimmage. Watch right here, and he just drags him forward.
And that is something I had noticed in week 3 against Crooksville. You know, Berne still got to clean up on some of that tackling. Hit him low.
Yep. 2nd and 8. Once again, splitting out to the near side, Xavier Grimm with Drew Reed up to the top. Yingling would keep it himself, and the Rockets did a nice job that time of snuffing that one out.
Looked like probably a bit of a miscommunication in that interior line.
Loss of 1 brings up 3rd and 9.
Lost 1 on the play. 3rd down and 9 upcoming with the clock running at 9:09 to play in the first quarter, with Berne Union up 7-0 here on the high school football game of the week. Just a beautiful setting. Every time you come here to Millersport, you look out at the fields, and I was watching some of their highlights from their other games this season. Of course, the Millersport Sweet Corn Festival going on during one of their early games. Just a really cool place to watch a high school football game here in Millersport. 3rd down and 9, Yingling. Pitches, coming around near side. That's Xavier Grimm. Grimm looking for blockers. Grimm back to the middle of the field. He's got first down yardage. Lots of laundry on the field, though. This one may be coming back.
Yep, I think that first flag came in possibly on that block the QB threw. It might be possibly a blind side or a crackback.
Holding on the Lakers.
There's a signal for hold.
A referee tonight made the call pretty quickly. See if he's going to tell us about it. So they mark him back. That was a unfortunate penalty. That was a good play for the Lakers.
After the penalty, it brings up 3rd and 20.
After this play, we'll get you our officials for tonight. Tell you what, Tom, they come from all over the place. These officials do. Last week, the game we had, one came from Sugar Creek, one came from Massillon, and they were a long way away. Whew. Makes for a late Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
3rd down and long. Yingling to pass, has pressure, stays right in that pocket, but it's picked off over on the far side. Glennie Harris with the interception, and he's going to bring it all the way into Millersport territory, be brought down at the 45-yard line.
I mean, just looking at that play, it's just the situation that it is. You have a young QB possibly making his first start ever. Pocket's collapsing. He has 2 dudes converging on him. Just trying to protect and throw it up. He'll get there, they'll talk about on film.
To his credit, he stood right in there. He took a hit from both sides and just underthrows his intended receiver who had gotten behind the defense. But give Glennie Harris credit on that interception. So the Rockets, our first chance to see them on offense, led by Jarrett Thompson, the junior quarterback. Little pass out to Clayton Moore, who's one of his favorite receivers, and he's got a first down for the Rockets.
Clayton is one of those kids that's really had to step up this year playing wide receiver. He's a 3-sport athlete. He has really good tools and athleticism, good hands. He can run routes very well. Coach Herbst is going to be leaning on him, not just this year but also next year. 19
receptions for 118 yards on the season. Here's a handoff. Hard run to the left, Dylan Finneyfrock, and he's got the end zone for the touchdown.
Dylan's another one of those kids. You look at it, hard runner, good with his feet. Jared, I think I see a penalty flag trailing behind.
Is that inadvertent?
It's getting picked up.
Yeah, that was all the way back behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe it just fell out of his pocket. Here's a replay on that touchdown run. Good block right there. Trying to see the number.
Might be Wyatt
67. That is Wyatt Adams. Really good block to spring that run.
I mean, Coach Herbst has said that the strength of his team is a lot of that leadership on the interior line. Wyatt Adams is one of them.
High snap. Thompson just going to improvise, and he had a man out there, but he overthrows him, so the extra point no good. 7:54 to play in the first quarter, 13-0 Berne Union.
Good heads-up play by Thompson, because as soon as he realizes that ball is getting all jabberwocky, so to speak, they probably call it alert, just try to get it out. We can't get the officials too hard of a time for that inadvertent flag. I mean, you mentioned they come from all over. I know, like the Gales, for instance, down in Lancaster, they've had crews from Parkersburg, Marietta, Greater Cincinnati. I mean, it's a thankless job.
Well, listen to where these guys come from. They're all over the place. Our referee tonight, James Wind, he comes from Bucktle tonight. He's the crew chief down in Nelsonville. Dan Campbell, local guys from Logan. Mark Vinoy is from Pomeroy. Michael Newman comes all the way up from Portsmouth. Jason Blair from Belpre. And, of course, Andy Kilbarger, another local guy from Lancaster. So they're all over the place, and we thank them for being here on a Friday night calling this high school football game.
You can't help but think what happens when we get into the 6-man crew territory, how far that footprint goes out.
Some other games going on around the area tonight. 2-3 Fairfield Union is at 4-1 Bloom Carroll. 5-0 Logan Elm at 0-5 Liberty Union. 5-0 Hamilton Township at 2-3 Amanda Clear Creek. I tell you, the one I'm looking forward to is Hamilton Township and Bloom Carroll. That is going to be a really good football game.
Absolutely. Week 9, I do believe. And why I'm really looking forward to it is Hamilton Township and BC are both in Region 11.
Yeah.
That could possibly be a round 1.
Wow. Kickoff will be taken at the 32-yard line by number 20, Nicholas Yingling, and a good return out across the 40. Some other games tonight. 2-3 Central Crossing at 2-3 Lancaster. It's homecoming down at Fulton Field. 2-3 Newark at 2-3 Pickerington Central. That's hard to believe that we're saying that, yeah. 0-5 Westerville Central at 5-0 Pick North. 5-0 Canal Winchester having a great season. They're at 1-4 Dublin Scioto tonight. 3-1 Harvest Prep. They've got a big task tonight. They're at 3-2 Wheelersburg. And then a couple of games tomorrow night. It'll be Rosecrans at Fulton Field taking on Fisher Catholic. That one actually moved to 4 p.m. In order so folks can get home to watch the Buckeyes and Notre Dame. And then 3-2 Martins Ferry will be right here taking on Fairfield Christian, who is 4-1. That'll be tomorrow night. So we'll be checking on scores of other games as we go along tonight. 1st and 10 for the Lakers. Yingling hands it off to the fullback. That's Justin Phillips. Phillips still on his feet across the 40. Phillips is a tough man to bring down, and he fumbled the football, but they're going to say he was down. What a run by Justin Phillips.
I mean, that is a big man. I would not want to get into the ring with Justin Phillips, and he runs like a kid that you know very well, Big Jack Tensa from Fisher a couple of years ago. I mean, just good vision.
Watch here on the Dagger Law replay. He just would not go down. He reminded me of Ironhead Hayward on that run.
Man.
Just a sophomore, too. You're not going to be able to just arm tackle him. That's impressive right there. Got away from 3 guys. And we'll see. Ooh, that ball might have been coming loose, but no replay in,
well, you know what's scary,
high school
Jared?
football.
Justin Phillips is only a sophomore.
Yeah, wow. 1st and 10. Rockets moving the football. Or Lakers moving the football. Yingling, bad exchange there from Yingling to Brock Wright, and it's on the field, and it's going to be recovered by Berne Union.
Just a tough break there. But, I mean, what we've seen so far out of the Lakers on offense is not all that bad when you think about it. Lots of reasons to be generally optimistic, and give credit to Nick Yingling, because earlier, like say on that kickoff after the Rockets' second touchdown, let's catch the replay.
Yeah, it was just a bad exchange from Yingling to Wright. Go ahead, Tom.
I mean, Nick's just standing tall this whole entire game. He did well receiving that second kickoff. He's not going to let it phase him. He's a young kid. I mean, he's doing just fine.
Jarrett Thompson brings his offense back onto the field. He'll reset 2 guys over to the left. 1 running back behind him. Glennie Harris in motion. Ball loose on the field, and it's recovered by the Lakers, I believe. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Nick Yingling comes away with it.
Right place, right time. I mean, the turnover gods giveth, turnover gods taketh away.
That's
I
right.
mean, that's football. I mean, I'm glad to see Nick personally recover that ball because he understands, like, hey, Jarrett's been around. Like, look at that.
Did that hit Glennie Harris as he was running by? It almost looked like the timing was way off there. I think Thompson may have just taken his eye off of it. He was thinking of the handoff before he even caught the football. So 1st and 10 here for the Lakers. Good field position at the 20 or the 25-yard line. Yingling once again gives it to his fullback, Justin Phillips, and a short gain this time.
Justin Phillips.
That's big Wyatt Adams coming up off the tackle. I believe he just kind of got off on that right edge and just blew his man. Good swim move to get across and get deep.
One of the captains on this Berne Union team, a senior, 6'1", and we've called his name a couple times tonight, both offensively and defensively.
Well, I know Coach Tony Herbst refers to Wyatt as the heartbeat of this team, and when I watched them week 3 at Crooksville, I mean, he really stood out as a player. I mean, he could play for pretty much any school, I feel like.
2nd down and 9. I formation once again for the Lakers. Yingling pitches it out. It goes off of his fullback. It's loose on the field. And it's still loose. Brock Wright trying his best to haul it in. And now a flag comes in over on the near side. And it was recovered by the Lakers.
There's a penalty flag on the field.
The flag was away from the loose ball. Let's see what they call.
Dead ball, personal foul, 28. 15 yards.
Personal foul.
Yeah, is that the end of the play?
Against the Lakers.
So it's a dead ball personal foul on Millersport. Something over on the sideline. Here, let's see this pitch out here. Yeah, I think he pitched it to the wrong man.
Well, I think what probably happened was it's supposed to be a pitch out to the tailback, but Justin Phillips, again, it just speaks to the youth of this Millersport team. You have a fullback that's probably kicking out too far, and it just goes off his chest plate.
So it's going to be second down and long here for Millersport after the penalty. Up to that point, fairly clean game as far as penalty-wise. We've seen some turnovers. Yangling, hard, long snap count. Hands it again. No, he doesn't hand it. He passes it, and it's going to be picked off. Dylan Finneyfrock with the interception. And he'll take it back into Laker territory.
Looked like kind of one of those RPO concepts, or like a fake fullback dive, just a quick spring over the top.
Brought down by Xavier Grimm.
Xavier Grimm made the tackle, and somebody a little bit shaken up. That's number 28, Xavier Grimm, who made the tackle. See what happened here on the replay. Dagger Law. Little jump pass. Finneyfrock was in the right place at the right time. Got a timeout on the field. Millersport will take one. Give us a chance to tell you about some of our sponsors. Of course, all night long you see the first half scoreboard brought to you by Buckeye Automotive Family. The Buckeye Honda, Nissan, and Toyota dealerships would like to wish all of the local athletes best of luck this season. Learn more at BuckeyeCars.com. We also want to tell you that, remind you that obviously you're watching this game live. You can find live and past games on our YouTube channel. Just search for CLN, your hometown connection, on YouTube to find games and other local programming. While you're there, make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the action. Also, if you're on Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter, check us out on those social media platforms as well. Just search for Interphase Video Productions. Jared Stewart, Tom Moore from Millersport tonight in this Mid-State League Cardinal battle. Tom, let's talk about the Mid-State League coming into tonight. Fairfield Christian on top, but coming up right behind them, Rosecrans, they started slow and they're starting to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, Rosecrans has an explosive offense. I'm interested to see what happens with Fulton Field tomorrow versus the Irish. But who would have had FCA and Rosecrans leading the top of the pack?
Exactly. 1st and 10 for Berne Union out of the timeout. Whistle and a flag before the snap. It's going to be a false start.
We have a false start on the Rockets.
Dead ball. False start.
5-yard penalty brings up 1st and
Here's
15.
a call there from our crew chief, referee James Wind. 1st and 15 for Berne Union. Thompson, the option, will pitch it out. This time on the run, it is 32. That's Cody Homan. Hard hit on the tackle when a flag comes in.
There's 2 flags down on the field, and I can't help but think this could be a combination of 2 things, and they could be both against Berne.
It does look that way. Berne Union's players are starting to walk the opposite direction. So we'll hear it from the referee. I missed it, but it's a big one.
There may be an unsporting.
Yeah, it must be. That was more than 10 yards. Let's see the replay here. Or maybe it was a hold right there.
Could be a hold.
I think it might have been a hold.
Well, I think there may have been
10
an
yards from the
unsporting after
spot.
that. You can't see it on the replay.
Thompson looking to pass. He's got a man out there looking for his intended receiver, 15, Gavin Barnhart. He's got it. He's inside the 30 and down to about the 20-yard line.
Great route ran by, great post route by Gavin Barnhart running down. And that's got the kind of connection that you would expect to have between Thompson and Barnhart. Barnhart is 6'4". He's a tall kid, and he moves well.
And just a sophomore as well. Thompson, again the option, pitches it out to Homan. Homan inside the 10, knocked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Good hit there to knock him out of bounds by Yingling.
Good run by Hellman. A little bit fortunate for Berne getting away with possibly a hold on that right side.
Yeah, last time they ran that play, they did get burned on the holding call. First and goal coming up for the Rockets. 4:42 to play in the first quarter. They lead at 13-0 here at Millersport on homecoming night. Homan will stand right behind Thompson out of the shotgun. 3 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Thompson sends Homan in motion, then we'll just toss it out to him, and he's got a wide open lane to the end zone. Touchdown, Rockets.
One of those situations where, you know, the youth kind of shows itself, you know, just maybe that wasn't something they had seen on film previously with those 3 wide receivers kicked out, but just a matter of helmets. I mean, it's a good connection because those lateral throws are pretty hard to make. So good job by Thompson getting helmet.
Believe it or not, that's his first reception of the season. He's been primarily a running back, and he came out of the backfield right there for that reception. On the season, Homan 17 rushes, 87 yards. Another high snap on the extra point attempt. Thompson will look to pass. Now he's just going to tuck it in and run, dive for that pylon, and he's knocked out of bounds short.
Good heads-up awareness by Thompson, and I mean, he doesn't see anyone coming downfield, so he's just going to try to take the angle.
You know, I tell you, that it almost looks like you got to give a lot of credit there to Berne Union's coaching staff, because obviously they're trying for an extra point, but you can see that tight end is going into the end zone. It's almost like, hey, we've got something planned in case the snap goes bad. That's good coaching.
It is good coaching, and where it really comes through is possibly, you know, any other game where it gets down to the wire. You know, that could be a game-tying PAT.
Yep. So with 4:36 to play in the first quarter, it's Berne Union on top, 19-0. To be honest, Tom, I mean, if folks are just joining in, they're thinking 19-0, still the first quarter. The score really doesn't. I don't think it's not indicative of what the game has been. I mean, Millersport's been able to move the football. They've just turned it over and shot themselves in the foot a little bit with some penalties.
I mean, I completely agree, Jared. I think really kind of like what tells the tale of, you know, the score is just there's just been a few plays here and there to where, like, Millersport's youth, it's a predominantly sophomore team, you know, and when you get into league play also, the game really does speed up in so many regards. That's not to say that the Cardinals necessarily, I don't know, the Midwest Athletic Conference or the Ohio Capital Conference, but I mean, there's a different dynamic at play.
Rockets will kick it off. Another squibber, and it'll be covered up at about the 42-yard line by one of the men on the front line. I think that was 55? 58.
58.
Aaron Schuster.
The lone senior.
The lone senior covers the kick.
Ball was recovered by number 55, Gage Evans.
And just like Wyatt Adams for Berne being, I believe, a senior,
Yeah.
Coach Jack Trenish talks about Aaron Schuster as basically the team leader. I mean, he leads by example in practice, and he does a lot of that senior-like stuff on the field.
I got a timeout on the field. I want to thank Buffalo Wild Wings. Thanks to Larry Tipton and the crew for great food, great service, and the best sports viewing in town. It's all at Buffalo Wild Wings in the Plaza Shopping Center on North Memorial Drive. And we want to give a big shout out to our Interphase Video Productions crew tonight. Smaller crew, but getting it done as always. Our producer-director Josh Messerly down in the truck tonight. Graphics and clock and replays, Donnie Ziegfeld and Jason Roush. Is Jason coming out of the stands and going into the truck tonight to do some pushing some buttons. On cameras tonight, there you see Jim Spires. He's up near us at the press box. And then down on the field, as always, bringing you all the action right into your living room. Right on the field is Tom Russo. There he is. And, of course, Tom, tell you, he's been a busy man, not just on Friday nights with high school football, but going to watch the Ohio Bobcats and the Marching 110. He's got a son that's in the drum line of the Marching 110. It's, that's exciting stuff. That's one of the best bands, college bands, that you will ever see.
It could be the best band in this state.
Could be. On first down, short run there by the quarterback. Or no, check that. That's Xavier Grimm on the carry. No gain on the play.
No gain. Second down, 10.
Hey, you mentioned earlier I had to fill in for Tim Shoemaker and Marion Royster. That's my fill-in for Marion right there. That OU plug.
That's right. He was a very good player for the Bobcats.
He's in the Athletic Hall of Fame at Heath High School, too.
Good basketball player as well as football. Tim tonight is at New Lex. They've got he's obviously a New Lexington graduate, and they have their Hall of Fame induction tonight. He's a big part of of that ceremony, and so wish him well tonight. I know he's enjoying it up there at his home turf at New Lexington.
Recovered by Xavier Grimm.
Fumbled snap. It'll be recovered by the Lakers. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long back at the 39-yard line.
Just tying back earlier, God bless Tim Shoemaker. Tim Shoemaker means a lot, not just to New Lexington, but really the MVL, Muskingum Valley League. I mean, he had so much success at Tri-Valley High School. I mean, he's one of the best ambassadors of high school sports you'll ever meet.
And speaking of Tri-Valley, Tim and the athletic director here at Millersport, Marcus Brailer, go back to their Tri-Valley days together. Speaking of Marcus, we want to thank him. Had a chance to talk to him tonight. He's, I believe, in his 2nd year here at Millersport, doing a great job as the AD. And, of course, we want to thank Danny Snively at Berne Union. Those are 2 of the guys that do a great job of getting us everything we need, and very hospitable. Every time we come up here to Millersport, they make sure we're welcome, and we enjoy coming here.
Hey, I appreciate you shouting them out, because when you look at high school athletics really is a team sport. Media, administration, parents, they make it possible for the kids. Shout out to them.
4th down and looks like about 13 for the Lakers. They will punt it away. Back to punt it is Justin Phillips. And back deep for Berne Union on the far side. That's Mason Walton. And the near side, I believe, is that Clayton Moore? It'll be picked up by Walton. Walton out to the 40. Now comes back to the other side of the field, back to the middle, looking for some blocks. Walton getting out to the 40 and be brought down. Good job by Brock Wright, chasing him down and bringing him down at the 42-yard line, but a flag came in.
It's coming back. There's going to be an illegal blindside block down around that 40-yard line on Berne's side.
Yeah, Landon Ailes took a shot. Good to see him get back up, the freshman wide receiver and cornerback for the Lakers. He will come to the sideline, but he's the one that was on the receiving end of that blindside block. So regardless of the, I guarantee you Coach Herbst will not be happy about these penalties. Let's see it right here on the replay.
That's not it.
I think it's as he's coming back here.
Right there.
Oh, wow. That was not only a blindside, but he got him in the back.
Yeah, there's not going to be any donuts for that young man come tomorrow at film session.
You're right. 1st and 10 here for the Rockets. Worst field position of the night. Thompson pitches it out. This is Walton on the carry. And again, Brock Wright will bring him down, but that's going to be a huge.
Going to be trying to make that play that way.
Yeah. Well, and even on the kickoff return when he made the tackle, it was high. You know, he's just got to get lower. He's got some speed. He's getting to the football. He just got to learn some more technique.
Learn some more technique. Fortunately, he has the speed to make that technique work.
Yeah, that's about as bad a face mask penalty as you'll see.
This isn't a Circle K up in Elyria, Ohio on New Year's Day. It's a football game, kids.
So to bring up a 1st and 10 for Berne Union at their own 39-yard line. Thompson, I believe that's Homan behind him this time. Looking to pass, has some pressure, and Phillips has him wrapped up and sacked.
Great
Justin
job.
Phillips breaking through there and making the sack.
Great job there by Justin Phillips. I mean, he stuck with it, shot through that gap, and really heads-up play because there is no in the grasp in high school football.
Right.
You have to earn that sack the hard way.
Came out of that defensive tackle spot. That's a loss of 12. Watch this. Really good job by Justin Phillips. And as you said, just hung on for dear life and brought him down. 2nd down and long for the Rockets. Thompson will hand it off to Homan going left side. He's got some blockers out there. Homan to the 40 and shoestring tackle out there at about the 42. But that left side of that offensive line for Berne Union, they had a wall built for him. Looking at number 70, Cade Ballinger. Over on that left side, also 67. That's Wyatt Adams. We've talked about him already, but boy, those guys are doing a good job
credit also to Brock Wright from Millersport, number 3. I mean, that was a possibly touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah.
We mentioned the speed, the technique. That time he got it right.
3rd down and 6 here, under 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. Thompson hands it off to Homan right up the middle, and Homan will be wrapped up after about a 1 or 2 yard gain. On the stop this time for the Lakers is Aaron Schuster.
And that's a key example where that kind of experience comes into play. Aaron Schuster's a senior. He's a lone senior. Sheds off his block. He understands where it's going.
That'll bring us to the end of the first quarter with Berne Union on top, 19-0. But I tell you, Tom, this Laker team, they're playing hard. It's a young team, but they're playing very hard. Just got to clean up some silly mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, and resilience is really the thing that ties everything together. And we're seeing resilience here. I mean, they're down 19-0 in the first quarter. They're a really young team with low numbers. Yeah. What do? They get a stop.
Right. That's one of the things our Tim Shoemaker, even though he wasn't doing the game tonight, he was able to talk to both of the coaches. Of course, Jack Tranish from Millersport and Tony Herbst from Berne Union. And one of the things that Coach Tranish talked about in their strengths, he said, yeah, we're young, but he said we have been resilient. We're continuing to improve every week. We're not really concerned about what's on the scoreboard. We're concerned about getting better every single play.
And that's what football is, because, I mean, football, regardless of the score to a certain extent, football's about commitment. Football's about sticking with it. Football's about, hey, this is an opportunity for you to get called out, but we can also reward you.
Well, on the other side of the coin, one of the areas of improvement that he talked about they need to do is mentality and belief. How hard is it when you're 0-5 and you're just continuing to get beat every week, but you're young? How hard is it to get those kids to change that mentality and buy in and believe?
Well, I mean, I'll work backwards. I'm not a parent. You are. You have a son that's about that age. You understand how kids think. Compound that with the fact, okay, the results aren't going every which way that you expect them to, or you would want them to, rather.
Berne Union will go for it. Thompson pitches it out to Homan. Homan gets away from one guy. He's across midfield. Homan still on his feet to the 30, and inside the 30 down to about the 25-yard line. Good run by Cody Homan.
Might be coming back.
Wow, they have really had the penalties tonight. I know that our cameras are on the near side, on the Lakers side, but I bet you if we had a shot of Coach Herbst over there, he would have not a very happy look on his face.
Yeah, it'd be lit up like a Christmas tree right now. He probably wouldn't be as red as, say, when I was in high school, giving him a hard time. Back when he was coaching at Fisher.
That's right. That is a 15-yarder. There's a look at Coach Herbst. And that, I told you, it's not a very happy look.
It's going to be less donuts coming in tomorrow.
I don't know. Do they have a hill down there that they run like Fisher runs on Saturday mornings?
I don't know if they do or don't, but if they don't, I don't want to know what they have to run.
Maybe
down there.
They run the stairs on the new building or something. Or yeah, Josh tells us in our ears they can run the fire tower. Good punt. High punt with some hang time, but it takes a Millersport bounce, and the Lakers will take it at their own 41-yard line. So if you're looking for Coach Tranish, if you're looking for positives, things to build on, right there's one. You held them. You made them punt it away. You picked up. You've got some good field position here. I mean, you got to look at it every step of the way, things that you can build on.
Yeah, and you're bouncing back for some of those mistakes. Like I mentioned earlier, Brock Wright earlier, personal foul, just a bad tackle. What does he have next play? A touchdown-saving tackle. That turned into a stop.
Yep. Lakers football, 1st and 10. Yingling has Phillips and Wright flanking him to his right and left. It will be Wright following the block of Phillips, and Homan's going to wrap him up immediately at the 40-yard line. It's going to be giving forward progress out to the original line of scrimmage.
Down to the left side of the Rockets line.
It's like we've actually got a new quarterback. Xavier Grimm is coming in to play quarterback in this series for the Rockets, or I mean the Lakers, rather than Yingling.
It's moving over from tight end to QB.
Yeah, we see Yingling on the sideline down in front of us. Looks like he's got some ice on his right hand. When you're already short-handed, that's not something you want to see. Grimm this time is wrapped up at the 41-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10. So with Yangling out right now, that leaves one sub on the sideline for the Lakers.
Yeah, as the sun sets here down by the lake. I mean, impressive stuff there by Xavier Grimm. I mean, he's probably, maybe their 3rd-string QB at this point. Yeah. Moving over from tight end to QB. He's not afraid to show some moves, try to keep the play alive.
So 3rd down and 10. Grimm. Bad exchange as he's handing off to Phillips. Phillips did a good job just diving on it to give him a chance to punt it away and maybe flip the field here.
4th down for the Lakers.
There is such a thing as playing with pride and playing for pride, and that's a lot we're starting to see here. I mean, diving on the fumble. You're not just getting away from the ball. I mean, you cough it up, you're getting it back on it.
So will be Phillips to punt it away. Back deep for the Rockets once again as Walton. We saw him take the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Had to get it away quickly as he had pressure. It'll take a bounce at the 35 and be picked up by Clayton Moore over on the far side. Clayton Moore down the sideline. He might go. Clayton Moore inside the 20, and he's gone. Touchdown. Oh, did he get in? I don't know. I think that he might have gotten tackled at the 1. Who hustled him down? Wow, that was – you talk about effort right there, Tom. You talk about never giving up. That's an example of it right there. It looked like Clayton Moore had an easy touchdown.
That young man's going to be getting a helmet sticker.
Let's see who it was. I'm going to take a guess and say Wright, possibly. I mean, he had some speed. It was Brock Wright, number 3. He chases him down and just at the 1-yard line is able to bring him down. Wow. Good effort also by Clayton Moore to try to reach for that pylon. But it will be Rockets football, 1st and goal at the 1.
Looks
now
like
the officials are discussing something.
It's kind of like the papal conclave down there.
Let's see. Josh tells us this, he may be in, but it's hard to tell where the out-of-bounds line is over there. I mean, he might have, if he's not out of bounds, he might have stretched it across, but either way, they're going to keep it where it is. 1st and goal at the 1.
Unfortunately, in this state, instant replay doesn't come on until week 16.
Yeah. Thompson with Homan and Finney Frock. He'll give it to Finney Frock this time, and he sheds 1 tackle, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Good hard running there by Dylan Finney Frock. I mean, he got hit first on contact, but he just keeps churning, keeps spinning, and he's built. Look at that kid.
Yes, he is. Finney Frock, another sophomore, 5'8". You can tell these guys have been in the weight room down in Sugar Grove. Watch this. He's going to get hit in the backfield right there, but what a spin move, too. On to kick the extra point will be Glennie Harris. They've had 2 high snaps, another high snap, but they're able to get it down, and Harris is able to put it up and through. So with 9:16 to play in the first half, the Rockets now on top 26-0 over Millersport. Check some scores from other games going on around the area tonight. Down at Fulton Field, just down the road, Lancaster leads Central Crossing 10-6. They opened that game with a field goal. I'll tell you, talk about field goal kickers. Thomas down there at Lancaster just started really getting into kicking over the summer, and he is one of the best you'll see in the area.
Yeah, I've heard J.D. Thomas can boom it from 40 to 45 easily. I mean, he played a big role in that New Albany win, which opened some eyebrows.
And he's not just a kicker. He's not a soccer player. He plays football. He's big role in the defense for the Gales, but they're up 10-6 in the second quarter. Also in the first quarter, Hamilton Township all over Amanda Clear Creek, 22-0 out at the pit. It's Bloom Carroll and Fairfield Union. They're in a tough one, 7-3. Carroll leads that one in the second quarter. Liberty Union trails Logan Elm 21-0. That one also in the second quarter. And we'll continue to give you those score updates throughout the night.
Well, Fairfield Union is a program that really is on the rise.
They are.
They run the rock pretty well. They have really solid running backs.
Tom, when it comes to the Mid-State League, you're the guru. You've had a chance to see a lot of the teams this year already, even through Week 5. What are your thoughts on the Buckeye and the Cardinal?
Well, that's good heads-up play really quickly by Justin Phillips just getting down. You know, when you look at the Buckeye, I think what's impressive is it's not just a matter of BC and Taze Valley, so to speak. Hamilton Township has their best start in a long time. We saw what Hamilton Township was about 7 to 10 years ago when Nate Hillerich, who's now the coach at Pickerington North, who's also having a really good year. We saw what the Rangers were like down on Rathmel Road. Amanda Clear Creek, a program under a new first-year head coach who's not that much older than me. Still some growing pains. They had a good start to the season. They kind of had a head-scratching loss to Circleville last week.
1st and 10 here. Grimm spinning, and we'll get up to about the 35-yard line.
You go a few miles west of here out at Liberty Union. You know, it's just one of those things where in the post-Dan Johnson era, it's a program that's had a lot more of those kind of waning periods compared to waxing periods. It just never seems like there's any real in-between. When the Lions are good, they're good.
Oh, yeah.
It's just one of those cyclical years, you know. And it's a town that really prides itself on athletics. They'll be back sooner than later.
Yeah. 2nd down and 10 here for the Lakers. Ball on their own 35-yard line. I believe Yingling is back in at quarterback. He hands it off to Phillips, first man through, and this time, good job by that defensive line by the Rockets. They're going to stop him at the line of scrimmage. Tom, that Buckeye division, you know, obviously it's looking like a 2, possibly 3-team race, but you almost get the feeling that there's one or two teams that might sneak up and get a surprise win to really hurt someone's feelings.
Well, you know who we've always seen that out of was Fairfield Union, because you look at the last 2 years, Fairfield Union has the rare distinction of finishing their season with a win.
Yep.
They went to the pit 2 years ago and upended the Aces, and they beat the Aces last year.
They played Hamilton tough already this year.
Yes, they did.
And right now they're giving Bloom Carroll all they can handle at 7-3. Right here, it's 3rd down and 10. Yingling looking to pass. Screen pass over to his intended receiver. That was right, but it out of his reach, and it'll bring up a punting situation for Millersport.
Not a terrible sling there by Nick. I mean, just a little bit of the timing, because if he could just land that into Brock Wright's breadbasket, so to speak, that could have been possibly a 6. There's a lot of green grass ahead of him.
We mentioned in our pregame, but for those who may be just joining us, Millersport already with a small roster, 17, and they're down to 13 tonight. Yingling is their backup quarterback. They've already had to play their 3rd-string quarterback tonight, so they're very short-handed. But as we mentioned, Coach Tranish and his group are playing hard every play. They've got a timeout right here. We're going to talk about what they want to do here. I want to say thanks to some more sponsors tonight. Of course, we mentioned Buffalo Wild Wings. And, Tom, speaking of Buffalo Wild Wings, you and I, texting back and forth today and talking about this game. And you talked about going into Buffalo Wild Wings on the Friday nights and watching the game replays. And that, I tell you, that's something that's got to be a pretty cool memory for you from high school.
I mean, it most definitely is, because, I mean, you think about it. At one point in time, Buffalo Wild Wings was just NTN Buzz Time Trivia, but then Interface Video came in. They would always put the games up for the kids, and that's been going back for a decade. So when I think about the gravity of this game being broadcasted, I mean, not just the Berne kids get to celebrate what looks to be possibly a win, but also, I mean, the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers are back on. It's not the big school Gales. It's not just Bloom Carroll. It's not just the flavors of the month. I mean, everybody gets the love. So fantastic what Larry Tipton and his crew do down there at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's an institution that the kids cherish. And shout out to Bob Campetti and the team here at Interface Video for making it possible for the kids.
So out of the timeout, the Lakers will line up to punt. This time it will not be Phillips punting. It's going to be Yingling to punt it away. Got a good block from Phillips, enabled him to get a good punt away. Takes a Laker bounce. It'll be taken at the 30-yard line, and Moore will just run it out of bounds right near the 40.
I don't mean to sound like Prince Hamlet here of some soliloquies, but, just thinking about, like, say, the Buckeye, for instance, really impressive what Bloom has done in the context of, okay, maybe some parts of the Buckeye aren't as competitive and preparatory for Region 11, but Bloom goes out and plays a difficult non-league schedule. You and Tim Shoemaker had their game week 2 versus Bishop Hartley, and Bloom looks just like the same last year. They do some things differently on offense, but the train keeps it rolling.
It's a true meaning of they don't rebuild, they reload every year, it seems. Flag on the play as the handoff goes to Homan, or no, that's Finney Frock over on the right side, but I think that might come back.
Yeah, hard to tell. That might be a false start. But, I mean, to your point on Bloom Carroll, Wade Bartholomew is up at Olentangy now. And Olentangy is one of the best teams possibly in the state for Division I. So Wade has always been a program whisperer. Who do they hire to replace Wade? They hire possibly one of Central Ohio's best assistant coaches, Jeremy McKinney. Jeremy was their defensive coordinator during Wade's time. Bloom Carroll, stout defenses. He understands the programming. And the peers in Fairfield County, they know Jeremy well. And they tell me Jeremy is a student of history, student of football. He ties those two concepts together. He is one of the smartest individuals possibly in the state when it comes to program building. So good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. The penalty goes on Berne Union. It backs him up 5. 1st and 15. Another flag comes in. It's going to be a false start on the Rockets.
66.
You heard the official?
Well, it's a cold night here out at Millersport, but I'm starting to get warm just looking at the eyeballs of Tony Herbst, just, in light of all these silly penalties.
So 1st and 20 now for the Rockets. Thompson again takes a high snap, and boy, shot out of a cannon is Cody Homan right up the middle and has almost enough to pick up a 1st down on 1st and 20.
Good hard run by Cody Homan. I mean, just keeps his vision straight. He's good with his feet. I'm surprised he didn't try to kind of shake out of that, but hey, he just keeps doing what he's doing.
Homan is the 3rd leading rusher on the team, 17 carries, 87 yards on the season. The leading rusher is the quarterback, Jarrett Thompson, with 261 yards, followed by Dylan Finneyfrock with 108 on the season.
We haven't seen Jared run the ball really at all this game, but I can tell you he is very, very quick.
Handoff again, this time Finneyfrock. He's got the 1st down, stays on his feet, and gets up to about the 41 of Millersport. That's one of the things I was watching some highlights of both of these teams on Huddle today, actually. And one of the things that was very impressive about Thompson was his ability to extend plays and really, if there's pressure, he can definitely use those feet and make something happen. Here's a pitch out to Finneyfrock, and Finneyfrock with another good run and almost another 1st down.
To your point on Jarrett Thompson, he wears number 12. He wears the number of Nate Nemeth. He may not have some of those tools that Nate did, especially physically, but when it comes to his speed and athleticism and his IQ, I mean, that comes from preparation. And Nate was one of the most prepared high school football players you ever see. There's a reason why he's thriving in a college program as a freshman.
How is he doing down at Wilmington?
I saw his game up at Otterbein in which he recorded an interception. So he already has 2 interceptions and a forced fumble. He's forced 3 turnovers in OAC play on Saturdays.
So he's playing defense, huh?
Indeed.
All right. 2nd and short for the Rockets. Thompson fumbles a snap. Just going to pick it up and run, and he's going to be short of the 1st down, brought down about the 33-yard line. On the tackle for Millersport is 57. I don't have a 57 on my roster. Not sure if he had to change somebody had to change a jersey.
Really quickly going back to Nate, I got to talk to Nate after the game and just, understanding what it means for him to be in a college program, because college football is no joke. And that was a kid that, it's just great to see a local kid excel in a program to where, everyone is a dog. Everyone is there for a reason.
Thompson pitches it out to Finneyfrock. Finneyfrock has a 1st down and more. 25 down to the 20, inside the 20. Finneyfrock lowers the shoulder and will be brought down right about, looks like the 5-yard line. but there is a flag again. That one's coming back, I believe.
Holding against the Rockets.
It is a hold on Berne Union.
Well, in light of possibly speaking more to Berne's penalty woes, let's keep it in the same same church, different pew. Talk about the Cardinal division a little bit here, Jared. Because you asked me earlier, okay, Buckeye and Cardinal. Yeah, that's that hold right up there.
Yep.
Right,
as our friend Tim Shoemaker always says, there's a reason that play went for as many yards as it did, and it was the hold.
You know, I mean, FCA, a lot of credit to Coach Marcus Barden. They could easily be undefeated if not for the fact that they sought out Danville in week 3. They wanted that challenge. They could have played probably anybody else.
Right.
He specifically took that game on. They look at his program and say, hey, we're trying to evaluate where we are. We want to play the best of the best when we can and when we reasonably can.
Here's Finney Frock again. Almost lost the football. Was able to regain it and pick up a nice run for another first down into about the 27-yard line.
And onto that thought a little bit more, in the context of Region 27, it's generally wide open this year. There is no New York Catholic in it, so that 700-pound goal is out of the room as we watch this on the replay by Finney Frog. Just good hand work.
Back to live action, another first down run over on the right side. This time it was that Thompson keeping it? It was Thompson. A Millersport Laker is slow to get up in the middle of the field.
Number 55, Gage Evans, another sophomore. But you look at Region 27, and it could be the FCA could finish as high as, like, say, the fourth seed at the conclusion of Week 10. That would mean possibly up to 2 home games.
Yeah.
And, that'd be really big for the league when you look at it, because last time that the Cardinal had gotten past the round of 8, the previous Week 11, you have to go back to the George W. Bush administration.
Wow.
I mean, it's been a long, long time. Really happy for the Knights to see what they're doing. They're getting it done with a really small roster. They have a lot of experience and talent. Elsewhere within the Cardinal, we talked about the Miller Falcons, which great for that community because there was a long time where the Falcons really struggled.
Yep.
They're 4-1. They could possibly be 5-1. They take on Grove City Christian tonight. Fisher, I mean, it's just one of those lean years. I don't want to get too beaten down on that. I mean, it could be the case that Millersport plays them, and that's a winnable game for Millersport.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Let's take a look at these two teams, what they've done up to this point and what they have left on their schedule. Is the Rockets picked up their first win last week and looking to try to build on that. Here is their schedule. I mean, coming up after Millersport, I mean, Martins Ferry, that's going to be a tough game. Grove City Christian going to be tough. They have some tough games left, so it's going to be a battle for them to try to get into the playoff picture.
Most definitely. I mean, you mentioned Martins Ferry. There's a reason why that game's on the schedule because there's an odd number of teams within the Cardinal. So, like Fisher, like Fairfield Christian, Berne has to fill that hole. Who's available? Oh, it's just one of the winningest programs in the state of Ohio, out in the Ohio Valley, Martins Ferry. So, I mean, and there's no rest for the wicked. I mean, Portsmouth Notre Dame is solid. Crooksville fired out of a cannon. Their first 3-0 start since in my memory.
Right.
I'm 27.
Yeah. But then you see Fairfield Christian to end out the season on October 20th. That's going to be a heck of a football game.
Jared, they can't be caught looking ahead because out in Week 9, just as God intended, of course, they're playing the Irish.
That's right. And that will be at Fulton Field this year.
I heard a rumor that Fisher's wearing camo jerseys for that.
Yeah, they are. They this early in their camp, they had some guys from the Army come in and run them through some drills and some conditioning. And so in exchange for that, as we see Thompson with a really nice run here for a touchdown for the Rockets, but in exchange for having those guys come in and put them through a training regimen, they will be wearing camo jerseys provided by the Army, and that'll be kind of cool for the Irish.
Look at this. I mean, talk about Jared Thompson's tools. I mean, his heads-up awareness. He gets a bobbled snap. What does he do? He tucks it. Look at that hand work.
Yeah.
Look at that vision. I mean, it's just crisp. I mean, it's kind of like shades of Nate to a certain extent.
Did a good job, Ray Davenport out there leading the way, blocking for Thompson as well. Good snap this time on the extra point, but it's a low kick and blocked by the Lakers. Actually, I think it just went into the backs of the offensive line. So with 3:37 to play in the first half, it's Berne Union on top of Millersport 32-0. And here's a look at Millersport's schedule, what they've done up to this point and what they have left.
So this equation is a little bit different for a young program because, I mean, you have to pretty much play whoever is in the same boat that you are. I mean, Belleville Blue Devils, one of the smallest football playing schools in the state. They may make playoffs. I mean, deep down in the Ohio Valley. Then they go up to Vanlue up in the Findlay area. Vanlue, last couple of years, they've had rosters of 12 to 13, so not too dissimilar from Millersport.
You know, one thing that I noticed from this is not all those L's. It's the amount of points that Millersport's been putting up.
Yeah.
Other than that game against Columbus West, they're putting up points.
Yeah, I mean, talk about Columbus West. I mean, Columbus West is a Division II school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to your point, I mean, they're still fighting. They're still getting points up. I mean, they're able to do something.
Tom, do you ever foresee Division VII with some of these very, very small schools and small rosters? Do you ever see it moving to 8-man football in Ohio? I know there are some teams that play it, but do you ever see the entire division go to 8-man?
Okay, now that you phrased that question that way, I say no. What I do see a lot of is I do see a lot of Division VII programs going the way of 8-man, but I would imagine that the OHSA will keep and sustain Division VII football, and then they'll probably have like an 8th division to where it'll be probably 8-man football.
Okay.
I think really the reason why I say that is if you look at the 7 divisions, it went from 6 to 7 in 2013. What people always have the biggest misconception of is they didn't add really the Division 7, they added the new Division 1 to where it's the upper percentile of teams to kind of mitigate the difference between, like, say, a Lakewood St. Edward and a Westerville South when it comes to the boys.
Right.
So I think moving forward, they'll probably try to get more of a normal distribution to where for 11-man schools, they'll probably be like the smallest 6.5%, and Division 1 will continue to be the biggest 6.5%. Does that make sense? Like a bell curve.
And I tell you what, you know, I've never seen 8-man football. However, I did watch the docuseries Texas 6 on one of the streaming services, and that's 6-man football. And I tell you, it's an exciting brand of football. It really is. I mean, you're talking scores getting up into the 80s and even higher in some cases. It's a lot of fast-paced action.
Absolutely. I know some people who go out and watch those contests out in the deep plains, out in Texas. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's mind-shattering. And you know what's crazy is some of those kids do play Division I football.
Yeah.
Or if they're not playing Division I football, they're possibly playing, like, high-level college baseball.
Right. On first down, Phillips with a loss on the play. We'll bring up a 2nd down and 15.
Jared, I'm going to open Pandora's box here for a second.
All right.
You talk about 8-man and programs, where they may start playing 8-man. I think 8-man could possibly come into this area, but there's sort of an inertia play because you look at what 8-man is right now in the state of Ohio. Those programs are primarily concentrated up in the Cedar Point region, up in Lake Erie. That's not really viable for, like, say, a Millersport to do that level of travel if that's your nearest opponent. You also look like a program such as Federal Hawking down deep in the Wayne National Forest southeast of Athens. They would probably more prefer to be an 8-man football program, but, you know, the travel, the logistics don't make sense.
Yeah. Rosecrans, what was it, maybe a handful of years ago.
2019.
They played a couple years of 8-man football, and they had a lot of travel that year.
They did. That was Gage Latazzo, who is now the coach of Crooksville. That was his final season at Bishop Rosecrans. I think what Rosecrans did, and what's interesting is they only played 8-man for 1 year, and they ironically came back to 11-man in 2020 and all the chaos of that.
Yeah.
I think to that inertia point, a lot of programs, I think they're kind of, you know, in that teetering balance. Maybe even Fisher is one of them, just for an example. The fear is you don't want to be stuck in 8-man. You want to possibly go back to 11-man, and that kind of poses some viability risk to the 8-man situation.
Well, we've got a fumble on the play. Once again, it's on the exchange from quarterback to running back. just have not been crisp, and that's just a what we've talked about all night. It's just lack of reps. We've got a second-string quarterback and guys that just aren't used to taking the snaps and handing off. There you see it, and Berne Union fell on it, so they will take back over 1st and 10 at the Millersport 26-yard line with 2:16 to play in the first half. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll tell you about our halftime band show that you won't want to miss. New quarterback into the ball game for the Rockets, and he's going to be sacked by number 52. Or am I mistaken on my number? I didn't see 58 on the sack. That's Aaron Schuster. I was going to say there's no 52 out there. Aaron
Schuster, my apologies, Jared. I mean, he's played really well on that line. And we mentioned earlier, he shed off a block to get a big third down stop. I mean, his seniority really comes into play. I was so excited to mention that I interrupted you.
That's okay. Ashton O'Rourke is in at quarterback, the freshman, 5'10" freshman for the Rockets, 5'11" actually, wearing number 6. Takes the shotgun snap, passes it out. It's in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. That's Evan Shoemaker, 6-foot junior into the ball game now for the Rockets. Brings up a 3rd down and 9.
Starting to see some younger players worked in also for Berne. I saw number 14, a young freshman, Bradley Lawrence, checking in sort of as a tight end.
Yeah. And I don't think that you'll get any complaint out of Coach Herbst for this situation to be able to play these guys, because you never know when somebody's going to have their number called and step into a big situation. So this is really meaningful minutes for these younger guys.
It is, and the other side of that equation is JV games are kind of hard to come by
You're
for
right.
Division 7 schools.
Yep. Pitch out, coming to number 19. I think it was 19. If it was, okay, that's Gavin Garner.
I mean, to your point, you want to see what else you have, kind of like in that reserve rank. Opportunities also to say, hey, we may want to get you in to kind of spelled in, like say as a backup running back, backup QB, backup wide receiver. Hey, it gets some film work too.
Absolutely. Clock rolls down inside of a minute to play in the first half. O'Rourke out of the shotgun on 4th down and 8. O'Rourke looking to pass. He has pressure. He's going to dump it off. It's complete. And a 1st down for the Rockets. Trying to see who made the reception. That's number 30. That's Colton Moore. And Coach Herbst will call a timeout with 40.4 seconds showing on the clock. That'll give us a chance to tell you about our halftime band show, which will be coming right up. You'll see the Berne Union Marching Rockets, J.D. Latore. I tell you, you talk about good bands. That is one of the best in the area, if not the best. They go, it's a small school, but they move up and compete in Class A, Double A, and winning grand champion week after week. So we're excited to see them tonight. It'll be brought to you by the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Crematory and Monuments, family owned and operated since 1889. Check them out at funeralhome.com. The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, respect for tradition, regard for change. It will also be brought to you by Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do too. The difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Despite that commercial read, I'm really, really excited for the Berne Union Golden Rocket Marching Band. I mean, they're an institution.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, because no matter how good or how average or whatever quality, the football team is, that's always been a constant. It's been like that for generations.
And think about this. They also have junior hires marching in their band. And to get those young kids to play and march at the ability they do is very impressive. Big wrap-up right here. Again, number 57. I don't have his name. We need to get it so I can give him credit. He's had some good stops tonight. Cash Inman.
And he's a freshman.
On the stop.
Coach Shoemaker talked to Coach Jack Trenish earlier on in the week, and Coach Trenish told him that, hey, Cash Inman's only a freshman, but he grades well in film sessions. I mean, he has the right attitude, so it's good to see him finally, get one of those plays to where he makes a huge impact.
Yep. I had him listed as number 51. He's 57. Here's going to be the last play of the first half as the clock winds down. O'Rourke on his feet. Wow, what a run by O'Rourke, but just came up short. But for the backup quarterback, that was pretty impressive.
Yes, it was.
That'll take us to halftime with the Berne Union Rockets on top of Millersport here on homecoming night, 32-0. Stay with us. We're going to have the halftime band show coming right up on the high school football game of the week.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Buckeye Toyota, Bay Food Market, Fairfield County Adam H., the Savings Bank, Sheridan Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Fairfield DD, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Dagger Law, The Carriage Company, Personal Touch Party Rentals, North Body Shop, Fairfield Medical Center, and Buckeye Lake Marina.
Bay Food Market is Fairfield County's source for high-quality, locally sourced meats. The meat case is always full of quality fresh beef, pork, gourmet burgers, and gourmet brats for you and your family to enjoy. Bay Food Market cures and smokes their own hams, bacon, and sausage. Visit Bay Food Market at the corner of Maple and Walnut Streets in Lancaster and discover the Bay Food Market difference. Open daily 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed Thursday and Sunday. Bay Food Market, proudly serving Fairfield County families for more than 90 years.
Dagger Law has more than 110 years of experience in nearly every aspect of the law. When we're not just helping clients, we're helping the community. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and around town because we live and work here too. We are your neighbors, and we want to help you when you need it. When we help each other, we're stronger. Our community is stronger. Creating a strong, vibrant, healthy, and safe community is everyone's responsibility, and we take the responsibility seriously. We are local, we are trusted, we are experienced.
Hi, this is Kristen Glazier with Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care. We're here to promote compassionate end-of-life care by providing comfort, support, and resources for those experiencing palliative needs in our community. This month, we are grateful to be chosen as a recipient of the Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye will make a generous donation with every vehicle they sell this month. We really couldn't accomplish what we do without local support. Thank you, Buckeye, for helping our community.
I want a doctor who listens to me.
From primary care to specialty medicine, we put your needs first by treating you like a person, not a number. Our primary care team will help you identify your healthcare needs and set goals for success, regardless of where you are in your wellness journey. We care for patients of all ages, with offices that are close to you. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
Greetings from Fairfield DD. We begin to celebrate the much-loved fall traditions as we move into cooler weather. We hope to see you at Football Friday nights and the County Fair. As you enjoy the season of changing colors, we also want to remind you of the change we hope to see. At Fairfield DD, we pursue a vibrant community where people lead fulfilling lives and everyone makes meaningful contributions. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram to learn more about how we remain dedicated to our community.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference. Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Swing into the Carriage Company and check out our sweet deals.
If you're looking for the best selection of clean, quality used vehicles, look no further than the Carriage Company. You'll feel secure with your purchase, knowing all vehicles undergo an extensive safety and service check prior to the sale. And all vehicles can be viewed online at carriagecompany.com. The Carriage Company, located at 1031 North Memorial Drive in Lancaster.
So wait!
I really like Fairfield County because we're just a great mix. We're not so isolated that we don't have resources, but we're also small enough that it's a real community. And I will say that I don't think I've ever seen or worked in a place where so many partners in the community come together and are truly collaborative.
I've been working in Fairfield County for over 20 years, and I've had a variety of positions within the county. Being a smaller county, I've been able to get to know the service agencies better and people that work within that. So I've always had those opportunities to be creative, to think out of the box. And through those collaborations, we've been able to really build some wonderful programming for the youth and families.
I think that everybody is really community minded and they're really focused on, within the system of mental health care, they're really focused on getting people access to the care that they need and making sure that we're serving the people in Fairfield County.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
And integrated language arts. Allison is escorted by senior cross-country member Ronnie Rary. Ronnie is the daughter of Dean and Mindy Rary. She is also being escorted by senior volleyball player Lexi Barch. Lexi is the daughter of Samantha Goodrich and Justin Barch. Our final senior attendant is Miss Macy Stilling. Macy is the daughter of Buck and Lisa Schilling. Macy has been in Sign Club for 4 years, varsity cheer for 4 years, varsity volleyball for 3 years, is a part of National Honor Society and Student Council. This year at the Sweet Corn Festival, she was also crowned second runner-up as Miss Millersport. She will represent Millersport all around Ohio at different festivals. After high school, Macy plans to attend Ohio University and major in retail and fashion marketing. Macy is escorted tonight by senior National Honor Society member Tyler Large, son of Nate and Angie Large, as well as senior Teen Eco Summit member Ryan Turner, son of Jim and Karen Turner. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, our 2022 Homecoming Queen, Miss Megan Wiles, will crown this year's 2023 Homecoming Queen. And this year, our 2023 Homecoming Queen is, can I get a drum roll? All right. All right, our homecoming queen for 2023 is Miss Allison Folds. Congratulations, Allison. Megan Wiles is returning from Ohio University in Athens, so thank you for making the trip back to crown our queen for 2023. Football players, please rejoin your team at this time. Good luck in the second half of the game. Now let's enjoy the rest of the game and good luck to both teams.
Hi, I'm Carol Whittington, and I would like to invite you to stop by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, located at 1540 Hubbard Drive in Lancaster. We are a small family-owned business and have been servicing the Central Ohio and Hocking Hills area since 2003. Graduations with a personal touch, weddings with a personal touch, corporate events with a personal touch. Please call us today for all your party rental needs, 740-689-6991.
Central Ohio, home to thousands of businesses, large and small, each with owners and employees working hard to make their businesses work. We are the Savings Bank, and we're here for your business. When you call, we answer. When you email, we reply. And when you need a business loan, we get moving. Because in a market of thousands, we keep our eyes on your business. The Savings Bank.
Under the direction of J.D. Latour and led onto the field by Field Commander Mackenzie Watson, Berne Union High School is proud to present the 2023 Berne Union Golden Rockets Marching Band. We will now present selections from our 2023 field show, Goliath. Our first song features the power of our big brass section, This is Armada, by Thomas Bergerson. We now feature our last selection, the final score by Ralph Weinrich, featuring our percussion section. We hope you enjoyed our show tonight. Go Rockets!
Okay, if we're feeling lucky, get your 50-50 tickets out. Tonight you will receive $161 if you're the lucky one. Here is the number, 5, 4, 8.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the high school football game of the week. I'm Jaron Stewart alongside Tim Shoemaker. Tonight we've got a great one for you. The Bloom Carroll Bulldogs.
We had a great week of practice, even in the rain and the weather. We had a great week of practice.
Schneider, lots of running room to midfield. He's gone. Ryan Schneider down the near sideline for a touchdown for the Aces.
We have a hold on the offense, number 20. That penalty will be declined. They'll bring up 4th down.
We're going to give you this game ball here because you're a Tiberios fan of the game, and thanks for being here, Jacob.
The Polar Bears are your OAC
because you've earned it.
Dagger Law has more than 110 years of experience in nearly every aspect of the law. When we're not just helping clients, we're helping the community. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and around town because we live and work here too. We are your neighbors, and we want to help you when you need it. When we help each other, we're stronger. Our community is stronger. Creating a strong, vibrant, healthy, and safe community is everyone's responsibility, and we take the responsibility seriously. We are local, we are trusted, we are experienced.
Bay Food Market is Fairfield County's source for high-quality, locally sourced meats. The meat case is always full of quality fresh beef, pork, gourmet burgers, and gourmet brats for you and your family to enjoy. Bay Food Market cures and smokes their own hams, bacon, and sausage. Visit Bay Food Market at the corner of Maple and Walnut Streets in Lancaster and discover the Bay Food Market difference. Open daily 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed Thursday and Sunday. Bay Food Market, proudly serving Fairfield County families for more than 90 years.
Hi, this is Kristen Glazier with Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care. We're here to promote compassionate end-of-life care by providing comfort, support, and resources for those experiencing palliative needs in our community. This month, we are grateful to be chosen as a recipient of the Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye will make a generous donation with every vehicle they sell this month. We really couldn't accomplish what we do without local support. Thank you, Buckeye, for helping our community.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Buckeye Toyota, Bay Food Market, Fairfield County Adam H., the Savings Bank, Sheridan Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Fairfield DD, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Dagger Law, The Carriage Company, Personal Touch Party Rentals, North Body Shop, Fairfield Medical Center, and Buckeye Lake Marina.
And we welcome you back to Millersport High School, where at halftime Berne Union leads the Lakers of Millersport 32-0. Hope you enjoyed the halftime band show, and also we have some footage. We got some footage of the homecoming festivities. We'll show you that in just a little bit. But Tom, let's talk real quick as we get ready for the second half kickoff about that first half. You know, really, you tune in, you see a score of 32-0. You think that's a big time blowout, but you know, Millersport, as we said, they had some positive things that they can build on. They've just really got to clean up the turnovers and the penalties.
I mean, they do. It's not a bad first half by Millersport given the circumstances. I mean, a threadbare roster of healthy players. I mean, they're down to possibly 13.
Yeah.
They've still shown a lot of fight. They've gotten some first downs. They came up with a big third down stop. I mean, it's just kind of a matter of, okay, you know, somewhat healthy bodies, but also sticking with it. There's still a lot of things that you can take away in the film session come Saturday to where, hey, we like what we saw. It didn't go our way on certain plays, but we're a lot closer to where we want to be than we were, say, back in scrimmage season.
On the other side for Berne Union, Coach Herbst, I'm sure, addressed a lot of penalties that they had in that first half, and not just penalties. We're talking 15-yard penalties, 10-yard penalties that they really need to clean up.
A lot of boneheadedness.
Yeah. Return comes out to about the 21-yard line. That's where Millersport will take over. We will have a running clock here in this second half, as the OHSAA rules state that when a team is up by 30 points, the clock will continue to run until it drops below 30. Let's take a look real quick as we get ready for this first series by Millersport. Look at the homecoming festivities here. There you see that went on right before the band show. We want to congratulate Allie Foltz, who was crowned homecoming queen here at Millersport High School. And kind of ironic that the last time we were here doing a game was in 2016. It was also homecoming. And we had a sideline reporter with us that night, and he was able to interview the homecoming queen. So congratulations to Allie. 1st and 10 here for the Lakers. First series out of the halftime locker room. Yingling will hand it off, going right side. That's right. Right with a nice carry out to about the 25-yard line.
Good shiftiness there by Brock Wright. Gets through the hole, sees that second level. One thing I really liked, young running back, it's probably not his normal position. Switching hands, switching where that football is going from his left side to his right side.
Tell you, I was very impressed in the first half with the speed of Brock Wright. Not just running the football, but we saw him track down a Berne Union, what seemed was going to be an easy touchdown, but he ran him down after a long time and drug him out at the 1-yard line. That's a play that most guys would just give up on.
And most young guys play with a lot of hesitation. He doesn't.
Landon Ale splits out wide to the left side. Yingling with Brock Wright to his right. Grimm takes the carry, going around left side, looking for blockers. Cuts back, nice cutback by Grimm, and he's going to pick up a couple yards on the play, bring up a 3rd down, and it looks like about 4.
And that's just good vision by Xavier Grimm. I mean, he's not going into that first hole. He probably had about 3 or 4 different options to go through, but he's just trying to get across that edge because the edge is not set by Burns deep. And it's good blocks set up on that far side.
So 3rd down and 4. I tell you, one of the downfalls to having a small roster is your quarterback has to run all the way, and if you don't do hand signals, he's running all the way over to the sideline to get the play.
Well, I see an opportunity from that downfall. I mean, because when you run the play in, that's an opportunity for the coach to tell you, hey, I want you to do this differently. I want you to look for that.
True. That's good point. Here we go, 3rd down and 4. Yingling fakes the handoff to Wright. He uses Wright as his blocker, and he's got the 1st down. Good run by the quarterback, Nick Yingling.
It's good vision by the young Yingling, and also just understanding, okay, that second level, okay, I can get some misdirection. I can kind of deke him into that right side. Yeah, look at that, just cutting
really
back
nice
in
job.
the field.
Good cutback, as you see there on the Dagger Law replay.
I shouted it out earlier in the game. I mean, if it's his first start, he's not doing that bad altogether. He's standing tall. He's sticking with it.
Yep. 1st and 10 for the Lakers at their own 34-yard line. Yingling again with Wright flanking him, looking to pass, looking down the middle of the field. Nice catch by Grimm. Xavier Grimm hauls it in at the 46.
And we're seeing 2 sophomores just grow before our eyes. I mean, we talk about Nick Yingling just on that rollout, just getting that ball in.
Grimm is slow getting up.
But look at that. I mean, that's a good release point. He's down, coming down the line.
Look at that one hand. He tipped it with one hand and brought it in.
Hey,
nice job by Grimm.
I'm not expecting like Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow accuracy out of a first-time starting QB, especially out of a sophomore. But he understands, okay, my tight end has a big frame. If I can just get it up there, he can come and bring it down.
Hoping this is just maybe got the wind knocked out. It looked like on that tackle that he landed on the foot of a Berne Union player. Hope it's nothing more than that. They are already down to around 12 players. So they're checking him out, making sure he's going to be all right. Good catch by Grimm. We'll see that again. Watch here at the end. Hard to say.
Probably got the wind knocked out of him. Where he landed on the left side of his chest plate.
There's a good look at Xavier. Another 1st down on that pass play. It's 2 on this drive. Yingling takes a snap, going to take it himself across the 50. He has a blocker. Yingling across the 40 and inside the 40-yard line down near the 30. A really good run by Nick Yingling and the Millersport Lakers.
Well, that's fearless what he's doing. I mean, because he's running against the numbers. It's sort of a misdirection play. He's running on that short side where there's more white jerseys than purple jerseys.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, he keeps trucking through, perseveres. And we're talking about a young man that converted from wide receiver, having to be in the fill-in QB for this game.
And my understanding that it was a late decision to put him in at quarterback. Not a lot of reps in practice. So 1st and 10 here. 3 first downs picked up by the Lakers in this drive. Phillips is going to move Yingling up and say, hey, go get under center. We don't have much room back here. And lost the snap. He's just going to keep it himself. And, boy, he made something out of nothing there.
Yeah, kind of a wonky play. I wonder if he possibly had one of his offensive linemen step on his plant foot on his left foot.
It's possible. England comes over to get the play. A little bit closer this time than what he had to run earlier. 2nd down and 8 for the Lakers. Clock rolling at 6:12 to play in the 3rd quarter. Tom and I were checking some scores from around the area at halftime. Some interesting scores happening tonight all across Central Ohio. Yingling, hard, long snap count. Will pitch it out to right. Lost the football. Able to get it back and get up to close to the line of scrimmage. Boy, that could have been disastrous.
It's just another example of that youth kind of coming in. I mean, you have a sophomore converted wide receiver in the QB, a sophomore tailback, just getting that timing down on those tosses.
At halftime, Central Crossing now leads Lancaster 15-10. Bloom Carroll really picked things up in the 2nd quarter. They now lead Fairfield Union 42-3 in the 3rd. It's Hamilton Township 29-7 over Amanda in the 3rd quarter. You've got you were telling me some other big games going on around Central Ohio. We'll get to those here momentarily. Yingling on 3rd down, going to keep it himself, and he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. Leading the charge for the Rockets, number 30, that's Colton Moore. And then coming in to finish it up was Ashton O'Rourke.
Good job by 2 freshmen, Colton Moore and Ashton O'Rourke, coming up from that 2nd level, identifying the play. I mean, you talked about I had some big games to mention. Well, before that, it was a big 3rd down for the Berne Union defense to kind of stem it. As we go into this timeout, I mean, one score that really caught my eye. Pickerington North was down 42-7, but first let's watch this replay. That's good flow coming down from the left-hand side. Good wrapping up.
Actually, I think that was Mason Walton. I said Ashton O'Rourke. I think it was 5 coming in to help out on cleaning up the tackle. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, before I mentioned that, we have another leg that's down, so hopefully it's just a cramp. That might be Nicholas Yingling.
Is that 20?
It's a jersey number that
had
ends
a
in a
0, yeah.
And
it is 20, Nick Yingling. So we hope that he'll be all right. Of course, we've mentioned all night that he is their 2nd string quarterback. Has not had many reps at all up till this point tonight. He's done a really good job tonight running this offense, all things considered. So we could be getting down here to, a situation where they have no subs, and boy, that would just be disastrous.
It'd be pretty perilous territory for the Lakers. You hate to see it because, I mean, they've been so resilient through this season so far, especially the kids stepping up into situations, playing new positions. You hate to see it. To divert a little bit of attention from kind of the grim reality of such a small roster, you mentioned other scores in the area of note. Pickerington North was down 14-7 right before halftime against 0-5 Westerville Central. The Panthers have tied it up 14-14. And, when I think about that score, I mean, I was at the Pick North Pick Central game 2 weeks ago. Pick North looks the part. Pick North looks like they're possibly one of the best teams in Division I.
Wow.
But Westerville Central, I mean, to quote Churchill, Westerville Central is a riddle wrapped inside a mystery, inside an enigma, I mean, they play teams really tough all the time. Kaufman had to walk it off on them last year. And speaking of walk-offs.
Boy, Yingling very slow coming off. That does not look good.
He's able to put some weight down, and that's one thing you at least want to see.
So after Yingling gets to the sideline, it will bring up a 4th down and 9 for the Lakers.
Play resumes, be a Lakers ball, 4th and 9.
And they will go for it. Grimm now will be back at quarterback. Grimm takes a high snap, fakes the handoff coming around. He's going to keep it himself. He's down inside the 25-yard line and pushed out of bounds right there, shy of the first down, but positive yards nonetheless. So Berne Union will take over on downs. Go ahead, Tom, what you were talking about there.
And talking about, well, switching gears a little bit, you know, we want to stay inside the region. We're not going up to out closer to the outer belt. We're going to stay in Region 27. Both teams, Berne and Millersport, Region 27. Berne, I mean, if the playoffs started before this game, Berne would be in the 15th spot. They'd be playing Caldwell, the number 2 spot. You look up at the top of Region 27.
Here it is.
Yeah.
So that's the top 10. Berne was down, what did you say, 16 now? Or 15? 15?
They'll presumably move up to some certain general extent after this.
Yeah. On the handoff, good job by Justin Phillips getting in there and wrapping him up for a loss.
Justin Phillips has been really impressive coming down the line, and helping him out was the senior Aaron Schuster, number 58, just, you know, swarming to the ball. That's the kind of things you want to see on film. We got that basement of Region 27.
What are your thoughts on 16 teams getting in from each region now?
There's opportunities within all of them. I know, talking to Coach Brian Schoonover at Lancaster, because they're in the weird situation in that there's 17 or so teams within Region 3.
Yeah.
So
there's only a couple that don't get in.
Right. So Week 11 is just an extra game, an extra opportunity to get better. I'm not necessarily opposed to the concept of 16 teams making it in. There's been plenty of years that I've seen where Newark Catholic misses, but we know pretty full well that Newark Catholic could be a regional finalist
Sure.
those years that they miss. You know, just a consequence of the hard schedule.
I think the biggest downfall, though, is when you play the 16 versus the 1, it's just such a lopsided game many times.
I agree, and you really do see that in Division 5, Division 6, Division 7, for instance. What I really like when it comes to 16 teams is, like, in the bigger divisions, it adds another layer, another gauntlet, so to speak, because instead of 15 games to host the trophy, you go to 16 games.
Yeah.
And that causes for a lot of upset potential when you look at, like, say, statewide. You know, I think about teams that were favorites, you know, at this point in the season to possibly host a Division I or Division II state title over recent years, and they don't.
Yeah.
You know, I can't help but think, okay, you add another game to that. That just sort of builds to the attrition factor, and it really widens things out, I feel like.
Yeah. Do you ever foresee, I mean, if they keep it at 16, they go maybe the top 4, the top 8 get a bye, and that way it maybe creates a little bit better games in the first round?
Well,
so you play like 16 versus 8 instead of 16 versus 1.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think if we have buys, what would happen is they would protract it down possibly to 12 teams. That way you have like 1 through 4 get a bye.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I think what it would take to get there is if you get into the situation where you have a bunch of schools withdrawing from the playoffs, because that's always an option. I remember last year down in Region 4, which is the southwestern region for Division I, Cincinnati Western Hills, for instance, went, I believe, 3-6, but Cincinnati Western Hills only has 18 kids on the roster. They're not going to play St. X or Lakota West.
No.
So they, you know, for good purposes withdrew, and Oak Hills, who was 0-10, made it in their stead.
1st and 10 here for the Lakers after the punt. Gribb will hand it off to Phillips right up the middle. Phillips will pick up about 3 or 4 on the carry.
I know, talking to some small school coaches in the area, they generally like the idea of 16 teams also, because, like, I'll take, for example, the case of Fairfield Christian. This isn't a put down or me being passive aggressive toward them, but they went as the 9 seed last year out to Bridgeport, out by Martins Ferry, out in the Ohio River, far eastern Ohio Valley. Bridgeport was the 8 seed. FCA beat them on the road. That was their first playoff victory ever in school history, program history. And you can't help but think, okay, Bridgeport was an 8 seed, so that's probably close enough to being, a good win because they're probably good enough to be the 8 seed themselves or the 7 seed.
Out of the shotgun, Grimm looking to pass. And it's going to be picked off. It was intended for Wright. It's picked off by Gavin Garner. And Wright does a good job once again of tracking him down and making the tackle. That kid does not give up. Looks like he's hobbling right now. Might have a cramp. Hopefully it's just a cramp and not a hamstring.
Well, you have two things going on in that play. I mean, it's kind of a consequence of, okay, you're down to your third QB. Let's watch this here on the replay. Not enough air, not enough depth on that pass, and you have Gavin Barnhart sitting in a cloud, just basically sitting there ready to take it, pick it off. It helps that Gavin Barnhart's also 6'4".
Yeah, that was Barnhart, wasn't it? I said Garner, Barnhart on the interception. You're right, 6'4" does help there. That's hard to get it over that guy.
Yep.
Especially when you're intended receiver, Brock Wright. I mean, we don't have his height listed, but I would say, 5'7" maybe?
Yeah, and you're throwing at a 0-degree angle, basically, a lateral. Yeah. Those are the hardest ones sometimes to really get down.
On the handoff here, he's going to be wrapped up immediately. Cash Inman in there, as well as Aaron Schuster. And that's going to be the last play of the third quarter with that running third quarter clock. And we want to say thanks to our second half scoreboard sponsor tonight. That's Buckeye Lake Marina up here close to where we are right now. If you're looking for a new boat, a great pre-owned watercraft, or a place to get parts for your boat, check out Buckeye Lake Marina. They've got it all. More information can be found at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com. Your third quarter score, 32-0, Berne Union on top. And Coach Herbst came out of second half with the same guys that ended the first half. His second and third team in there, good to see, getting them a lot of reps. And obviously those guys playing hard and really, not to slight the first teamers, but I think we've seen a few less penalties with those younger guys in there.
Yeah, I mean, they understand that they're competing for possibly a starting job or a lot of playing time. So now's not the time to be kind of horsing around out there. You want to play clean. You don't want to possibly say if you're in a situation where you're beat on the line, you don't want to overcompensate if you're beat technically by incurring a hold because that's a drive killer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really like what I've seen out of Burns Reserve, so to speak.
Watching out on the field as they trot down to the other end to start the fourth quarter. Brock Wright still trying to work out that what hopefully is just a cramp. He was grabbing at that hamstring after he made that last tackle, but I'll tell you what, I've been impressed with him. He's got a high motor, and he's been hustling all over the field.
Yeah. I mean, really, I'm also impressed with that sophomore and freshman class writ large for Millersport, in addition to, who else that you have out there. I mean, it's a small roster, but resilience is the key.
Second down and 14 for the Rockets. Handoff. First man through. That's Dylan Carter on the carry, the freshman. He's back up to the original line of scrimmage. Bring up a 3rd and 10.
You ask about 16-team playoffs and within a region, so it expands it out. My only general criticism with that is the way that you satisfy that is the season starts earlier. I mean, week 1 started in the middle of August before some schools were even in session. I'm just thinking to myself, what are we doing here? Because I kind of question how much that emphasis toward getting more games in is over-prioritized over the concept of school and what's in the best interest of the kids. That's my only complaint.
O'Rourke's pass is complete down inside the 10-yard line. On the catch is Colton Moore.
Number 30, Colton Moore.
Well,
yeah, and when you extend football, it really handcuffs basketball coaches. And then, of course, basketball season handcuffs baseball coaches. I mean, it just seems like we're trying to extend everything, and I mean, where do you draw the line?
I mean, where do you draw the line? But also, I mean, these kids have lives, too.
Sure,
when you think
absolutely.
about it. I mean, vacations are still a thing.
Yep. Penalty on the Rockets, just as I had mentioned that the second teamers had done a nice job keeping it clean out there, and they pick up a penalty and bring up a 3rd down and 15.
Illegal man downfield, I believe.
Illegal man downfield. That's a pretty common penalty especially with young linemen.
Mm-hmm. that one is a little bit more excusable when
Sure.
I think about it in comparison to, like, say, holding or personal fouls or blindside
Well, especially when he was flushed out of the pocket. They didn't know if he was going to keep it. You know, he did a good job of finding a receiver. But that's a tough one. Here's a handoff to Garner. Garner, wow, look at the speed right up the middle, breaking tackles and getting the first down and more. And he'll be finally whistled dead at the, looks like about the 7-yard lines where they'll have it spotted.
Good job by the Lakers swarming to the ball on that. I mean, they're defending their goal line.
And now Grimm, I thought he was, is he injured or did he lose a shoe? He's hobbling around over on the far side. I can't tell if he's trying to get a shoe on or if he's injured. I think maybe his shoe just came off. He was trying to get it put back on. 1st and goal for the Rockets at the 8-yard line. Handoff again to Garner. Garner going left side, and he is into the end zone for the touchdown. The senior 5'9" running back Gavin Garner with some good quality playing time here, getting that touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, he'll remember that touchdown for a long time.
Here's a replay here. A good job by the offensive line. Then Garner doing the rest. Stiff arm there at the end.
He'll remember the stiff arm a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. So on to kick the extra point will be Glennie Harris. This time out of the hold of Ashton O'Rourke, backup quarterback. Good snap this time. And Harris slipped as he was kicking it. Now he's limping. That didn't feel good. But the score makes it 38-0 Berne Union as the clock will roll here down inside of 8 minutes to play in the contest. Tom, it gives a chance to let's talk a little bit about. Obviously, we're only halfway through football season, but let's preview a little bit of basketball. I mean, you know, getting on the hardwood and getting the round ball out and shooting it around. I know that's one of Tim Shoemaker's favorite pastimes. And what do you see for since we're in the Mid-State League Cardinal tonight? What do you see for the Cardinal? You got a new coach down at Fisher Catholic. You know, you've got, I think even FCA, I believe, has a new coach. Is Hooper retired? What do you see for the Cardinal?
Well, I see two things. I mean,
GCC. I mean, they're good.
I mean, I didn't even want to mention GCC, but I mean, let's just start with these two schools on the field. I mean, I see a lot of rebuilding between Berne and Millersport. I mean, Berne has kind of been in a down period these last couple of years. Unfortunately, they graduated Nate Nemeth, who was pretty much their main scoring threat. So, I mean, I still sort of see some leanness, but you never know. I mean, Coach McKnight does a great job with his kids down there. And there's a lot of three-sport athletes, you know, that we see in baseball and out here in football. Clayton Moore, Austin Snyder, as an example. I mean, they'll be called upon to really get things done in the wintertime. Millersport graduated a tremendous senior class. You know,
yeah, they did.
Sharpshooter and Trey Johnston, graduated Michael Levacy. So that's going to be tough. FCA, Ben Patrick, who was a Tree of Life for the longest time. He's a fantastic coach. I know they're really excited for what they have going down there on Columbus Street. I do know that CJ Pena, who graduated from Harvest Prep several years ago and played at Boston College, he has a younger brother who transferred in to FCA, so they're really excited about his potential. Fisher, I mean, it's hard to say. I've heard a lot of good things about new coach Alex James. Yeah. He played for Mr. 600 Wins, Tom Petty at Bloom Carroll. His dad, Kerry James, was a fantastic girls basketball coach at Mana Clear Creek.
And he is on the staff, too.
Oh, he is?
Yes,
I mean,
he is. He's going to be an assistant coach.
That's fantastic because, I mean, you have a young coach. Who better else to learn from than Dad?
Right.
Because Dad understands what works. Dad understands what being a coach confers. You're working with teenagers. You want to change and set your own culture. I don't know really what to expect out of Fisher because I don't know if, like, their leading scorer from last year is playing or not.
Right.
They don't have a whole lot of height. I do know that their numbers are sort of up to a certain extent. They may have like a freshman team, for example, which, whoa.
I can confirm that he is playing.
Okay, good.
Hey, how about up 22 or 70, whichever route you take? You know, you can't leave out Todd Rock's, Rosecrans Bishops. I mean, he's always got those guys ready to play.
Yeah. And, you know, he could possibly have a team that is good enough to dethrone Berlin Highland. I mean, his nemesis, what Newark Catholic is to Fisher in baseball, is what Berlin Highland is to Rosecrans in basketball. Grady Labishak returns. Weston. I mean, there's several other key pieces that are back for Todd and the Rouge. I mean, this is possibly the year the Rosecrans wins the MSL Cardinal. And I love watching Todd Rock coach. I mean, Todd is a fantastic basketball coach. He emphasizes defense, hustling, fundamentals. I mean, he's on the Mount Rushmore of local basketball coaches, if you ask me.
Grimm takes it right up the middle. He did come over on the sideline during that the change of down possession, and it looked like he was getting a cramp worked out. So good to see him back in there at quarterback. Of course, they lost Yingling earlier here in this second half to an injury.
But tying back to an earlier point, you talk about three-sport athletes, you talk about how football runs into basketball, and basketball runs into baseball. I mean, Peyton Owens, for instance, I mean, we're expecting him to be the man on the diamond for you, Jared, right?
Absolutely.
And he's been the man this year in football.
I cringe every time he takes a hit on the football field. Here's a handoff. Justin Phillips up the middle. Good run for the big guy, getting close to another first down.
Switch gears a little bit into the Buckeye. I mean,
that's enough for a Laker first down.
What Ryan Davis in his second year, what their expectations are very high at Bloom Carroll, and I saw at Bloom Carroll last year, and what really impresses me of what Coach Davis is doing there is he'll play as many as 10, 11, 12 guys.
Yep. Don't forget about Travis Schaefer's Falcons at Fairfield Union. Those guys, they are always a force to be reckoned with as well.
Yes, they are. I mean, they want to go back to the Convo, and getting to the Convo isn't easy down there.
No, it's not. 1st and 10 after the first down run by Justin Phillips as the clock rolls down to 5:52 to play in the contest. And Grimm's pass going to fall incomplete. It was intended for Brock Wright. Good sportsmanship out there, as after Grimm was hit after the play, was helped up by Berne Union's Dylan Carter. Tom, I'm going to let you stew on players of the game. I'll do one, you do one.
All right.
I'll do Millersport.
Oh, you get the easy one. I had a really good one for Millersport.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, you do both.
Okay.
You do both.
Millersport, the entire team. I mean, honestly, I mean, what we've seen tonight out of the Lakers, I mean, these are tough circumstances to be playing under. I mean, there's been a lot of bright spots from several different guys. I mean, Brock Wright, for instance, has made some impressive plays. You talk about Justin Phillips, good downhill runner, giving a lot of spark to this offense that's predominantly passing dominated, but you talk about a fullback that really just runs downhill and takes the game by charge, doing what he can for his community and his team on offense. But really, it's a team effort, so I'm going to say the whole Millersport Lakers is the player of the game for Millersport.
So our Millersport player of the game brought to you by Bay Food Market. Stop in at Bay's and check out their weekly gourmet burger and brat selection, and shop their full-service fresh meat case. Bay Food Market at the corner of Walnut and Maple Streets in Lancaster since 1932. And you know what? I'm going to second that, Tom. How can you discredit anything that any of these 13 kids have done tonight? I mean, they have played both sides of the football and special teams. They're playing hurt, obviously. They've got injuries all over the field. And right now they're down to 12 players. And look what's being done. I mean, they're still picking up first downs. And they couldn't do that unless it was a full team effort. So we're going to give the Millersport player of the game to all 13 guys that suited up tonight. I think that's very fitting. And there's one of those 13 right there. That's Xavier Grimm, who's in at quarterback and just made a really nice run for the Lakers. He's gassed. Look at him.
I mean, he's coming in from tight end and being the third-string QB.
Here's that last run on our Dagger Law replay. Look at that stiff arm. I mean, he just threw that guy out of the way.
If I were the Irish a couple of weeks from now.
Players here. After this play, we will get to our Berne Union player of the game. 1st and 10 for the Lakers. Clock rolling down near 3 minutes to play in the contest. Rockets up 38-0. High snap. Grimm looking to pass. Got a man out here, just overthrows him just a bit. It was intended for number 1. I don't have it. You say that's Hunter Grimm?
Hunter Grimm is a lineman.
Did he change from 50 to number 1? I don't have number 1. Located at 1031 North Memorial Drive in Lancaster. Learn more at carriagecompany.com.
You know, Dylan Feinfrock, I mean, really set the tone early on with his work on the ground. I mean, just good hard running, you know, breaking tackles. And when you get that kind of production out of him in the run game, it lessens the load on your QB, Jared Thompson. So it's good, you know, to see that kind of leadership, because Dylan's called upon to be the guy, not just as a running back, but also as a linebacker.
Yeah. So congratulations, number 34, Dylan. I said Finney Frock, you said Fine Frock. It could be either or. I taught a student at Lancaster High School a handful of years ago, and he went by Finney Frock. But you never know. Dylan might go by Fine Frock. But either way, number 34, congratulations, Dylan. Right there he is in the middle of the screen through the purple jerseys. He is our Berne Union Player of the Game, brought to you by the Carriage Company. Here's Justin Phillips taking the handoff, going right side, getting around that right side of the defensive line and getting positive yardage. They've really picked up some good positive yards and several first downs here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at what the future holds for the Lakers. Well, I mean, these sophomores have really played their tails off, and that's one of those sophomores. Number 40, Justin Phillips. I mean, I look at that kid. I mean, he's an impressive physical human being. I mean, he's larger than both of us put together.
Well, and here's the thing. You know, people are going to say, well, yeah, but they're playing against the second team of Berne Union, second, third team. But in all reality, this entire Millersport team is freshmen and sophomores. You know, so you put 2s against 2s, really.
Yeah.
Third down and 3 for the Lakers. Grimm just takes the direct snap and runs it right ahead for a first down. And again, good sportsmanship. Berne Union players helping up the Lakers. Like to call out good sportsmanship when I see it. Bradley Lawrence, number 14, was helping up Grimm, the running back, quarterback. That's good to see. We're nearing 1 minute to play in this contest. Berne Union will pick up their second win in a row after picking up that first one, and an important one because it was in league play last week. So now 2 league wins for the Rockets to 1 league loss. This pass thrown up for grabs and almost intercepted, but it's going to fall incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Berne. I mean, if you have to get 2 wins anywhere on the schedule up to this point, you'd rather have it be in league play as opposed to out of league play.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of important because I think about, you know, Berne is a school that always wants to try to win that all-sports trophy. And part of the all-sports trophy is where you finish, you know, top to bottom in every sport. Because, you know, finishing 6th or 7th, just as an example, is a little bit more harder to overcome when you know, across the board.
I believe Fisher Catholic won that last year.
Well, they did, yes. You know, the boys can help thank their girl classmates for that.
Oh, yeah. They have some very, very talented volleyball, basketball, you know, softball is coming along.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be, you know, we talked about boys basketball. We didn't talk a lot about girls basketball, but I tell you, the Irish basketball girls team, man, Ben Bethel's got them going.
I'd give a kidney to see 2 things. One, to see that long-awaited MSL title in basketball. It's been 15 years. They have a saying up at Newark Catholic when they don't win a state championship, it's been too long. Well, in Irish eyes, an MSL title in basketball has been too long.
Yeah. Second down and long for the Lakers. Oh, hit hard, but staying on his feet and finally brought down was Grimm, leading the charge for the Rockets. 22 and 30. That's Dylan Carter's 22, and 30 is Colton Moore on the sack. And that could be the last play. They might try to get one more off here as we're down to 13 seconds and counting here in the fourth quarter.
And Jared, real quick, as the time dwindles, I'd give a limb to see the girls go to UD Arena.
Oh, yeah, that'd be exciting. Last play of the game here. Handoff up the middle. and going to be stopped right about the 40-yard line. And Berne Union going to pick up their second win in a row tonight. They pick up the win 38-0 over the Millersport Lakers. And I tell you what, Tom, again, you know, it could have been way more lopsided than it was. Give a lot of credit to Millersport and their pride and their commitment and their hustle to their team. But also, you got to say hats off to Coach Tony Herbst, recognizing what this game was and giving a lot of his backups plenty of reps tonight.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, to your point on Millersport, I mean, this is a season low that they've given up. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something you can hang your hat on,
Sure.
especially, you know, how withered down the roster's really gotten in terms of raw bodies. And, yeah, credit to Coach Tony Herbst because he understands the situation pretty well. I mean, he's the most experienced head coach in the Cardinal by a mile. He did 4 years in a joint up at Fisher. This is his 4th or 5th year at Berne. He understands the small roster situation. He understands there's a lot of dignity to be played with any kid that puts on the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
And he has a lot. I talked to him in the summer, and he really looked forward to the idea of Millersport finally being back and being back in the league. He said it was good for the county, good for the community, and great for the league. So hats off.
Hey, I want to tell you, coming up next week, we'll be back in Division I territory as Lancaster will travel up Route 33 to Groveport to take on the Cruisers. Tim Shoemaker and Josh Messerly and Marion Royster will have the call that one. Right now, the Gales back on top and against Central Crossing, 18-15 down at Fulton Field in the third quarter. So hoping for a win for the Gales, and then they will go up to Groveport. We'll have that one for you next Friday night. Tom, want to say thanks to you for filling in. Outstanding job, and it was fun working with you. And I knew when I asked you to do this that you'd be a bucket full of knowledge, and you didn't disappoint.
Hey, thank you, my friend. I mean, it's high praise. Hopefully, if Coach Shoemaker listens to this down the road, he'd be impressed with what I did. But more importantly, hopefully I did this role a lot of justice for all the fans, all the parents, all the grandparents. So thank you once again, my friend. It was an honor.
Thanks to our Interface Video Productions crew tonight. Josh Messerly, Donnie Ziegfeld, Jason Roush, Jim Spires, and Tom Russo. Again, your final score, Berne Union 38, Millersport 0. For our entire Interface Video Productions crew and Tom Moore, I'm Jared Stewart. Have yourselves a great night, everybody.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Buckeye Toyota, Bay Food Market, Fairfield County Adam H., the Savings Bank, Sheridan Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Fairfield DD, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Dagger Law, The Carriage Company, Personal Touch Party Rentals, North Body Shop, Fairfield Medical Center, and Buckeye Lake Marina.